All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in Hebrew, which means peace. Be a quick show to the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Another point, another page in the book, this particular book right here, which I took a photo of. And once again, it backs up what the scripture says, and we living in that particular time. And this is page 187. So I'm just gonna go to the head. It says into the date of monetary holocaust. If you don't know what monetary is the money system. All right. So this particular page is talking about what's gonna lead to that great crash, okay, and the results of how you're going to get to that crash. So when you read up, it says, governors consistence of 7 appointed by the President of the United States. Each member serves 14 years. That's not what I don't want to get. I just want to get the bullet points. And at the first point, it says, number 1, exploding inflation. Exploding inflation. Now, if we've been living under a rock, we are in a time of total inflation, where the currency that we all accustomed of is losing its value daily. The goods are not getting more expensive. It's the actual value of the money to get the goods that is increased highly, highly. And it's kind of spiritual because we brought out this price controls, which I'm gonna have to get the definition. But you're right. But we in that stage of the exploding inflation. So when you have gas prices are going up, food prices are going up, and the jobs remain the same, you're not making nothing. All right, which is going to end up leading to hyperinflation. So the second one says price control. Let me see if I still got it. Yep, price control. And it's great. Apostle Thor had us read this. It says price controls are restrictions set in place and enforced by governments on the prices that could be charged for goods and serve in the market. So the government is telling the small man to keep certain things at a certain price, while the little man loses. Meaning the store owners and so forth, they lose more because they cannot afford to continuously keep the prices that they have, because once again the value of the money is going down. All right, and it says, going back to that, it says erosion of your savings eventually to nothing. So what ends up happening? So in 2020 is when everybody was locked down. So in order for some people to survive, a lot of people had to touch their savings. So since you had to touch your savings off time at a time where you're just trying to maintain your bills. Now, funny thing is, everything was expected on time as nothing changed. That's why people should have realized that it was rigged, because the gas bills didn't stop. It hurt the middle class, the landlords that have houses and building complex, the small landlords were fully affected because the bank continuously wanted their money. It didn't stop. So what ended up happening? People had to get money from the government to maintain their living. All right. So all that money that was given by the government, and at the time they was telling people is going to cause inflation. They was telling that it was going to cause inflation. Like the American people was going to pay more down the line. Oh, so end up happening that the American people are paying more down the line, which leads to a couple scriptures. Hey God, because in reality, it's all about Israel and what Israel have done. In other words, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the biblical Israelites the Bible speaks of. We always been in this case where we don't have. So it was nothing new. But now everybody else is feeling that effect. Haggai 1:4 says, well, actually it's 1:6. You have sown much, meaning you worked much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. You are clothed you, but there's none warmeth. He that earneth wages to put it into a hole. To put it into a bag full with holes. So everybody's trying to save or trying to make money, and the same money that you're trying to save just to get by is the same money that you have to end up paying regardless. And this is before inflation and so forth was happening. The entire system was designed that way. All right. For other states go through different things because you have a lot of states that the people don't get paid good enough, but the condition is living wise is better than like a major city. When now in a major city, when you supposedly is getting paid good enough just to get to work, course, driving or public transportation. Then you have eating wise, and then is the expenses that you have in order just to get by. Well, that was all designed. That was designed to keep the average person to order for them to eat up their savings. Okay? So you save, you do all the things that's right. Some people are penny pitchers. They don't want to spend nothing, but you still had to take out from your personal goods in order to survive. That was all by design, which leads me to Zephaniah 1:11. It says, "How ye inhabitants of Maktesh." Now, what was Maktesh? Maktesh was a royal port where everybody did trading. All right. So the scripture says, matter of fact, I was supposed to go further up. 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate. Now, why would it be a cry at the fish gate? Because fish were not coming. So if there's a cry at the fish gate, meaning fishes are not coming, if a port is reliant on fish in order for the people to trade and make money and for people to eat, and it's not coming no longer, what does that make that? That makes it a drought, which makes it famine. Things are not coming the way it is. All right. It says, and howling from the second and great crashing from the hills. How for the inhabitants of Maktesh, for the merchant people are cut down, and all that beareth silver are cut off. All right. So all that cut silver, and what's silver? Silver is a form of currency that is a trade. So they purposely had set up the system in order for people to live. You have to pay for everything, light, gas, water, some places. So the government fully controls just the way you live your daily life. Okay? So this was all part of the plan of the elites. It says, and collapse of private as well as government pension programs, which goes back to what? Once again, your savings. If you save regularly, you have a pension in order for you to retire. Well, that also had to get taken. And the way the system is designed, that if you decide to take some money out of your 401k, that you have to pay a penalty because your 401k is part of the stock market. And now your pensions are being eaten up because it was telling the world, well, mainly in America, that how are these people getting paid? They have to take from the SSI, which is Social Security, which is future, and your pensions in order to pay the average person what they did, what they were supposed to be giving them. So all this was leading to them taking out the middle class. This is right we seeing right now is the complete devastation of the middle class. These are them drying out the middle class. This is it. All right. This is it. What you was relying on is now coming back to bite you in your ass. All right. It's coming back to bite everybody in the ass, which leads a couple more scriptures. I'm gonna end it off soon. Just want to hit these points. It says, Revelations 19 and 15. It says, neither shall there be any. Matter of fact, I start at 14. The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, in which you can clearly see that America is perverse. All right, it's going against everything that the Most High said, which every action which America has made for the future has roadblocks that's preventing it to flourish. In other words, when you go against the Heavenly Father and His Son and so forth, and you try to build upon the lies that you build upon, it always end up bad. It says, and they cause Egypt to err, meaning error. So America's the Egypt. That's everything that they do is an error, is wrong, and it all leads to the same thing. Like here in the city, just driving around in the city is damaging the vehicles, which is good for the mechanics. All right, so that they can have they themselves can profit or make some money, but that also leads a lot of people not to trust mechanics and do their own work into their own cars. All right, so once people get an idea, which YouTube is also helps out, a lot of DIYs, do your own, where you have a lot of people just out there just trying to do their own thing to fix up their own vehicles or fix up their own house, leaves all these people that have trades out of work. All right, like a lot of going to mechanics, a lot of mechanics work, they don't even go to a shop no more. They just work out in the streets, which is good money because you don't have to worry about paying them the shop for anything. Which that's neither here or there. There's a reason why I brought that up. But when you think about the cause of everything, first of all, the material to make these vehicles have gotten a lot cheaper. All right, it's not the same standard that it once was in the 60s, 70s. The big body, with actually still a lot of these vehicles made out of aluminum. Okay, the roads are not the same. You got potholes as big as a manhole, that's right in the middle of the highway, and which caused damage to people's vehicles. So everything that they have done, the cheap route of building this cesspool, was an error. Everything that they done that may have caused um, unnecessary work, so to speak, it still caused a major error. Okay? It says, to every work thereof. So everything they, once again, everything that they have done really was caused more damage to the system. As a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, which means confusion. When you ever see somebody that's drunk, they don't know what's going on. All right? And America is built upon capitalism, where everybody's trying to make a buck. Everybody's trying to easily get that next dollar, and that's their drive. That's what they look for. So when you have that mentality all the time, that eventually leads a lot of people to destroy one another. All right? It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. So the well is drying up where there is no work, because the supply chain is no longer providing certain substance in order to fix things. It's more costly due to inflation, which is leading to hyperinflation. So it's impossible to find a regular 9 to 5 when the 9 to 5 that you're getting doesn't even cover the cost of living, the cost of groceries and bills and so forth. So everybody does really at this point make money, and the money, as soon as you put the money in your pocket, the money's out right back to the system. All right, going back to Hagar, 1 in 6. All right, a bag full of holes. So there's no work, there's no finances, there's nothing that's circulating. America's finished, man. It says, which the head or tail, these big corporations, all right, they have to make deals with outsourcing. They have to, a lot of corporations find cheaper deals outsourcing their business, especially if you a corporation that's building a material and you want to go cheaper in the route of China, and you've been making a lot of money from that, well, guess what? You can't even get that neither, because the ports is backed up because of the government. The government is backing up the ports, so you won't be able to function the way your business normally can function, which will lead to what? A lot of layoffs. Now you sit there, I'm sitting there thinking about it. It's kind of crazy, because even the foreign cars, a lot of cars that was built in America, that was supposed to be built in America, is built in foreign countries. And a lot of foreign countries' vehicles is built here in America. So they did some swipe. I forgot what it was called. Damn, I can't remember the damn thing. All right, but there's no work for even these corporations with big CEOs making over let's say over $1 million a year, so to speak. There's nothing for them neither, because everything that was done hastily and not without a thought, which led to a lot of errors for the long run. This is or tell, which is what the poor. So there's no work for the poor. You see a lot of thing that's saying hiring. Oh, even Taco Bell. Taco Bell now, I've been to like several Taco Bells. I don't eat that crap, but just to pick up. And almost every Taco Bell I have gone to, just like McDonald's, they got the kiosks. And instead of going to the cashier to tell them, okay, I want this, that, to the third, you go to the kiosk and they go in the, as you don't even go, you just wait for your number to be called up. And it's normally in these stores now, it's four people, 4 or 5 people. Taco Bell, I noticed, is 4 people. Okay, now Taco Bell is what you would consider a low-paying job, fast food joint. Only 4 people. So you have all these people that's out there that's without work, who could have had work. You could have hired more cashiers. You could have had more cleaners and so forth. But they rather not. They just keep 3 or 4 or 5 people in the store to take orders and to give out stuff. So there's no jobs for the poor. All right. So branch or rush may do. And that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman. Which that goes into something else. But there's no jobs, man. There's no jobs. Everything's being outsourced, and they're cutting down on the workforce. Okay? So this is all deliberate. Ecclesiastes 12, to the point. It says, matter of fact, 3. And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease. And what is the grinding? Grinding is the work. Work is ceasing. A lot of truck drivers are not able to go anywhere because diesel's too goddamn high. So everything is ceasing. All right, we thought at the time that the lockdown was just a precursor of what's really taking place. And what's really taking place is for the long run. And just the fast food places that I make mention of is utter ridiculous how you get service. Now, not saying it was better back then, but the way it is now, you go to the kiosk, you press a couple buttons, and you just wait for your number to be called. And they out there, you don't even, there's not even that much interaction with other people. In case you might have a question about the food and this, that, to the third. That's not there no longer. So they took away the human out of these jobs so they could take away from the jobs. And soon there ain't gonna be no people even cooking the food because they even have robots to do that. So everything's coming to a cease. Everything's coming to an end. It says because they are few, and those that look out the window will be darkened, which is what? The future. The future, there is no future. Okay, there is no future for this place. This place is over. And it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. So it's going to get to the point where we all seen it with our own eyes. You get up, hear the birds chirping, and there's nothing to do. But this time is going to be forever. Many people are about to lose their jobs, and it's all part of these people' massive plan to suck the price gouging, the price controls, the high inflation, eat up all your savings in order for them to collapse the entire system and blame it on the people, so that way everybody could look at each other as the enemy. There's more to it, but I just want a couple points to that. So that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation Israel. Shalom.